Good morning. Happy Monday to everybody. And this is Mornings with Michael for information and educational purposes only, sporting the NDSU colors today after another fabulous victory. But we have rising cryptocurrency. So we got Ethereum got up here to 25.40, basically 25.3685, sold off and it's bouncing back today. And then we move over to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is down here around 67,500 and is just kind of tore off here, 69,401. I did put on some shorts on it, and sure, as soon as I put those on, it just takes off. But possibly could get around $10,000 in income on those shorts, and kind of put that in the bank if that happens. So let us go over to our word of the day. First, we take a look at where the heat map is today. And we adjust our picture so it doesn't block anything over here. So Apple, Google, Meta, Amazon, Home Depot are all up today. Tesla is down, Microsoft's down, NVIDIA is down, Oracle, Adobe, and Synopsys are down, as well as Broadcom. AMD, Qualcomm, and Intel are up. Other than that, the financials are doing well, utilities, basic material, and healthcare. So let us go over to our word of the day. Our word of the day is anaphora. Anaphora, the use of referring or replacing word used earlier in the sentence to avoid repetition, such as do in I like it, and so do they. The repetition of a word, phrase at the beginning of successive clauses. The teacher used repetition of I have a dream, Dr. King's speech, to teach the concept of anaphora. So that is the story there. Let's go over here. This is Wells Fargo. It looks to be breaking out on moving financials today. The dollar continues its, wow, it is so strong. Look at this move up. And let us go over to silver. Silver still remains strong, even with the dollar's strength. Gold, pretty flat, but it is up pretty strong as well. Copper is retreating a little bit. Uranium, look at that move in uranium. That's pretty impressive. Denison Mines gets a nice bounce up to 221. And we got a big move down in commodity prices today. Maybe the strength in the dollar has something to do with that. Let us go over to our bond yields. Wow, look at that move in the bond yield price, up 0.48%. That is just amazing. So it's up to 4.28% yield. We just dropped the Federal Reserve's dropped a half a point, and they're still expecting a quarter point discount. So I don't believe that a lot of people are believing that inflation is gone for sure. So this is Treasury bond pricing. As you can see, it is just at the bottom of the bucket here, so to speak. Let's go to the 20-year. It's up to 3.4%, and up quite as much, 0.62%. Take a look at the VIX. VIX is pretty flat, off 0.05%, 19.36. And let us go to S&P 500. It's up 0.38%. Equal weight in the S&P. It's up a little more. It's healthy, up 0.6%. The NASDAQ, up 0.13%. The equal weight in the NASDAQ is up 0.05%. You would expect the small caps to be down, and they're actually bouncing today, up 1.56%. And the Dow Jones is pulling back 0.71%. What is happening in China today? Got a big move in the K-Web index. FXI is bouncing as well, up 1.73%. Financials seem to be strong today. They get a nice bounce. Like they got a gap up 1.18%. Communications are moving up as well. Utilities looks like they got a gap up as well. Real estate, I would think, would be going down. It bounced a little bit and then sold off some. Home builders tried to bounce and then sold off. Consumer discretionary is up. Maybe Amazon helped this one. Biotech moving up slightly, up 1.21. Semiconductors, I would think, were pretty flat. They're down slightly, 0.56%. Infrastructure is bouncing, up 1.33%. Got a nice move in jets, up 2.35%. That may be the ETF of the day. Leisure got a gap up, 3.59%. Consumer staples, healthcare, retail, insurance, got a gap up in insurance as well. Regional banks up 2.72%. And 2.85 on this regional bank. So that is a story there. Let us go over to our news of the day. All the airlines, Delta, gaps up. United Airlines, American Airlines, JetBlue, LUV, and Alaska. They're all moving up because of the big drop in oil pricing. We didn't look at energy pricing dropping off. Look at that big gap down this morning. Delta Airlines sued cybersecurity firm CrowdStrike over the chaos caused by the summer of catastrophic software update and disabled millions of computers worldwide, grounding much of the airplane's fleet, and that was much expected. CrowdStrike is pretty flat for the day. General Motors up slightly, up 1.17. Wells Fargo among stocks with high total yields. Barron said many investors like to buy companies that return gobs of cash to investors. It said General Motors tops the list. In 2023, automaker did 10 billion repurchase as its stock traded in the 30s. It closed at 52.07, and Wells Fargo Corporation or company heavy stock repurchases have paid off. The stock recently rallied roughly 20% thanks to rising investor optimism that next year bank regulators will lift longstanding asset cap that's depressed the earnings. On to Volkswagen. Volkswagen's management discussed a list of measures for its brand that could achieve savings of 4 billion euros or $4.32 billion. German finance newspapers Handelsblatt reports citing company sources. So that is Volkswagen still down another 1% today. On to energy, industrials, and materials. Boeing is set to launch as early as Monday as planned to raise more than $15 billion in capital. A source briefed on the matter told Reuters. Reuters first reported on October 16th that the plane maker was closing in on a plan to raise around $15 billion with common shares and mandatory convertible bonds as it sought to bolster finances. So that is a story, and they still moved down 1.79%. CenterPoint Energy, quarter three adjusted EPS 31 cents versus estimate 32 cents. Nextera Partners downgraded to neutral for buy at Guggenheim. Sunrun is in discussions with data center developers to supply distributed solar power generation for facilities. CEO Mary Powell said under financials. ADT announced proposed secondary public offering of 56 million shares. The company's common stock held by certain entities managed by affiliates of Apollo Global Management. The underwriters will have a 30-day option to purchase of up to additional 8.4 million shares. So that is the news there. U.S. commercial real estate industry is pushing for tax relief incentives championed by former Republican President Donald Trump to continue in the next administration as the sector has struggled from surging delinquencies, record vacancy rates, and elevated cost of financing. On to healthcare. Edwards Lifesciences updated to market perform from underperform at Bernstein, and it is falling down 1.63%. And on to Philips. Falls after medical device maker cuts its 2024 sales guidance, grow 0.5 to 1.5%, down from the prior view of 3 to 5% due to weak demand in China. United Health to make last push for Department of Justice blessing on Amadeus. Amadeus is down 1.93%. Bloomberg reported late on Friday onto technology, media, and telecom. Semiconductors UMSC, which is falling like a rock. And Global Foundry downgraded to equal weight from overweight given potential wafer pricing and pressure from Taiwan Semiconductor and Chinese competition. So it's Global Foundries isn't doing as bad today, but look at this downdraft. It's a pretty bad move. And on to CDW, downgraded to neutral from overweighted JP Morgan. Sienna downgraded to equal weight from overweighted Morgan Stanley. And Google is developing artificial intelligence that takes over a person's web browser to complete tasks such as gathering research, purchasing a product, or booking a flight, the information reported. So that's all of our news today. Google is moving out of this area, pretty tight range for a long period of time, which I really kind of like. So that is the story for that one. Let us go over to our daily routine. How many we got here? We got 9 items. They're up 10% on 200% increase in volume. Nebius Group pretty much looks like IPO. Netherlands-based company provides infrastructure and services to AI builders globally. Procept Biorobotics, gapping up 30% on earnings of 22%. Oklo designs and deploys advanced fission power plants to provide clean, reliable, and affordable energy. So we had a big move up here, pull back for a few days. This definitely looks like a high tide flag. What is a high tide flag, you might ask? Glad you asked. So here's a flagpole. We got a little bit of decline. Not sure why it doesn't want to let me draw the, there we go. Bottom of the pennant. And that's kind of what the high tide flag looks like. Needs to go up 100% in price, drift down for a little bit, and then take off again. could possibly turn at least another 100% return. Moving on, SMR, New Scale Power. This looks just like the previous one. Be another high tide flagpole from 10 to 20. On to Vera Therapeutics. Big gap up into the pivot zone here, up 14.21% earnings in 9 days. Daco New Energy continues rising. Came up here, pulled back a little bit, and now it's breaking out again. Donald J. Trump, Media and Telecom. I'm not sure if it's Media and Telecom, but Media and Technology. It gapped up today and is up about 20%. And finally, on to Jinko Solar, continues higher. So that is the story there. Here's some of the things that we're currently in. Like this one kind of hit a profit zone, just continues higher. BitX up to 33.67 today. See if it can clear this base. Like I said, it 3,000 shares, and I put on 30 call options at 35 for December. And I think it brings in about 10,000 in revenue. We'll see if that was a smart or poor decision, but we'll just continue on. Look at Celsius. This remains pretty flat, off of 1.36% today. It's still in this pretty tight trading range. Move on to Health Beauty. Kind of moved up to 110 on Friday. It's now pulling back a little bit, off 0.29%. We have a bullish put spread on this. We shorted the 110s and went long the 105. As long as it stays above 110, we'll be happy. And this is American Superconductor. Just kind of continues to ride along the 20-day here. Got a little bit of a 6.5% bounce today. And let's take a look at, we've gotten out of these, but this one continues to look pretty good. Kava Mediterranean Grill, holding up pretty well. And is there anything else that I'd like to kind of look at? At the moment, I can't really think so. So that'll wrap up our show for today. This has been Mornings with Michael for information and educational purposes only. Your responsibility to do your own due diligence to find out if what we do is right for you. Please feel free to send your comments if we can help you in any way. But continue to go out there and work on your goals and your activities to back up your goals. And we'll look forward to seeing you on Taco Tuesday. Have a great day, everybody.